2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this episode number 316 of the Good Morning Guys podcast. And it is not only GMG 316 time for the GMG guys so loved their joiners that they recorded for them every week. For the past straight 6 years. That is right, folks. It's our belated birthday. Belated birthday. That's right, folks. We made it to kindergarten. We are 6 years old, at least in West Virginia, maybe 5 years old in other states, but we delay our education because that's what
it depends on when your birthday lies. I mean, you have a late summer birthday, you're probably in kindergarten.
Exactly. And it is late summer. Actually, fall.
It is early fall.
It's a super late summer. Okay, it's spring here in Brazil. All right, thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we are talking about the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and to play. I'm one of your hosts, the Brazilian Mountaineer and Transition Ninja, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, the jury. He's to my left bottom. Judge, jury, and executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novosel.
It is the best bottom on the left.
Yeah.
You need to say, what is GMG 316 to you? We were talking about this before. We were talking about this before we started recording. GMG 316 says fake news for me.
Is it fake news for you?
Right? Yeah. Fake news. You know what I mean? That's the Patrick Novosel edition.
That sounds about right.
PNS. PNE. What? I don't know.
Your translation changes every day. Well, for me, the Lucas Ham Fisher version is spring break woohoo.
Oh,
maybe
GMG
it's been a while. I think, yeah, or it's fall
break woohoo.
Yeah. I don't know. Cat pee everywhere? No, that's not a good.
Let's
just say. That's not a version to read.
You want that on your shirt?
Actually, let Rayla say what the GMG 316 is. Rayla? No?
GMG 316 for you is shut up, Rayla.
Yeah, shut up, Rayla. That's exactly right. It's shut up, Rayla. And thus saith Lucas to Rayla, shut up. Rayla, shutteth uppeth. Okay. Mark, how about you?
We talked about this earlier. I'm sticking with it. GMG 316 says good night, everybody.
Yeah, there's only one answer for you, my friend.
Yep.
Either that or Mark Fact.
Well, it could be multiple shirts.
It could be
both of them
for faux show.
I'll get to work
also to my left. Now that we talk about Mark, he is to my left. He is the final member of the GMG Quadfecta who's here tonight with music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, and La Carreta in his old estomago, Marc Boucher.
I'm back, y'all.
Welcome back. The Mark is back in town. Mark is back in town. Not with us, dead to us. The new final member, the newest final member of the GMG crew, the North Kakalaki, who's probably unlikely to have already eaten dinner because he's on call and working hard still. Our howdy hey handyman, Hank McCoy, Dusty McCrusty himself, Ryan Isley. He has nothing to say for himself because he's dead.
Yep, he's thawing out a refrigerator unit.
Yep, that is correct. So 6 years, guys. How crazy is that? Now, I totally forgot. I totally forgot to listen to episode 1. I really wanted to, but I hear you guys listen to episode 1.
You're okay to not.
Am I missing out?
No.
Not at all. Not even a little bit.
I mean, we sounded like we were in the tin can like 30 feet away. It was awful. Like how we decided to do an episode 2 is beyond me.
It's a miracle that we still have people listening to this show, because episode 1, like, we all sound so sheepish. Like we're not we're so uncomfortable. And then we all sound like we're super far away from the mic.
What do I do with my hands?
What do I do with hands? Wait, no, you talk. You go ahead. No. You go ahead and talk. Okay. Yeah.
We've been talking over each other so much.
I was gonna say,
what are you talking about? We never do that.
That doesn't happen. Yeah. It was the prophecy of Wally on episode 1.
Hey, man. That one, I still stand by that one.
To be honest, 6 years later, after yes.
I'll hold off on that. Let's hold off on thoughts on that because that's a GMG question we're going to get to eventually.
But, okay. All right.
So put a pin in that. But yes, the prophecy of Wally is alive and well.
Sure is.
This past 6 years has not even made me
still
back
on
down.
The same path.
Yep. In fact, it's happening faster than I anticipated. So let's get into updates. So as is tradition, I'm just going to randomly choose when to go first, and I'm going first tonight because my last week was a doozy.
That's not random.
That's right.
You know what?
It's a me.
It's supposed to be, but I'm taking the
reins.
Audible. Yeah.
No, I was saying I was doing my impression of you. Saying
yeah. Oh, okay. I was like, you're trying to take it back? You can't take it back.
Nope,
you can't call an audible on an audible.
You're taking the audible, you're calling it, and then you're taking
triple stamp and double stamp.
Yeah, that's right.
You ball hog.
All right. So today's update from me, I'm going to call Igurful because it is a God life, real life, and fake life all wrapped up into one beautiful package.
That's a whole Igurful.
So get ready, people, for the Igurful. I haven't figured out where to put the emphasis on the syllable. So
wait, hold on. How do you spell that again?
Igurful. Igrfl. It's in God, real, fake life.
Igurful. Yeah. Okay.
Igurful.
That makes sense.
Igurful.
Yeah. Igurful. I needed that in my head.
What about Igurful? No, that sounds weird. Igurful.
Sounds like an Igurful.
No. Hey.
Hey-o. Igurful.
Yeah. No, Igurful. Igurful's way better.
Igurful.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on God. The emphasis is on God. So Igurful.
Yeah.
Okay. So last week I was very busy. This week I'm also busy, but we're not through this week yet. I have to survive this week to talk about it next week. Last week I was in charge at our school of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday devotions. So like on the first day of the week, we usually do prayer time. So I just kind of followed a psalm and just had like 4 moments to pray through. And then on Tuesday, I led the men's devotions. But then from there, on Thursday, I was going to give a devotional to all of the teachers and leadership. And I really felt impressed at some point to fast. And so I started to do a fast, and I fasted a lunch. And then I felt like I should fast dinner also the day before on Wednesday. I was like, okay, and honestly, I used to actually practice fasting a lot when I was in high school and college. But what happened was life happens, and you have a family, you have a wife. I will say there was one Valentine's Day that I fasted, and in hindsight, it wasn't a smart move because on Valentine's Day, Mindy was eating her nice dinner, and I was just staring at her drinking whatever I drank, just some water or something. I'm like, in hindsight, I could have been like, time out, God. I'm just going to enjoy this dinner with my soon-to-be wife. And I mean, we were dating at the time. I think that night we got re-engaged. We got engaged a second time. So my experience with fasting has changed over the years. And then once you have kids and all that stuff. So anyways, that night at dinner, I sit down, and this is how unexpected and strong this feeling was. I really felt like God was guiding, directing. The Holy Spirit was like to the point of where I sat down in front of the pizza that Mindy had made, and I could not eat it. I could not pick it up. I just felt such a strong urge to keep fasting, to keep praying, to keep preparing for the devotional time. And so I did. I said, family, I'm sorry I can't eat, and I need to just go have a time of prayer, and I'll see you later. So I left them at the dinner table, and I just went upstairs and continued to prepare myself and pray. And then the next morning, I shared the devotional, poured my heart out. I may or may not have rewritten the chorus to oh my goodness, what is the Bon Jovi song? It's My Life.
Oh, It's My Life. Okay.
I rewrote Take My Life from Take My Life to It's My Life. I changed it to Take This Life, and I made it a Christian song. So I'll share that another time. That's not right now. And so I did that, and I gave the devotional. I felt peace afterwards. I felt good. And the desire to fast did not go away. And I was like, okay. So I got to lunch, and I still didn't eat. And then in the afternoon, I was approaching the 30-hour mark. Speaking of Marc, I got 30-hour famine vibes. Because I was hitting around 30 hours. And we have a prayer time every Thursday around 3:30. And we had our prayer time, and with a handful of other employees and coworkers and stuff. And after the prayer time, I just felt like God saying, don't leave, just stay in the room. And I stayed in the room by myself. And then I just proceeded to have just a 20-minute, 25-minute, like just totally pouring out my heart to God, and just like every care, every burden, everything I was maybe holding on to, I just poured it out. And it was a very intimate moment. And just really from that time, God said, okay, you can eat. He just released me. And it was like, man, I do not remember the last time I've not only fasted for that long, but also just felt like like when you're, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of, in a Liar Liar, when he can't do certain things, like he tries to lie or he tries to write something and he can't do it. Like that's how I felt with food. Like I just was like, I wasn't like tempted to eat, but it was still like, this is the time I'm supposed to eat. Like I want to be with my family, or I want to do this or that.
Yeah.
And I didn't. And so I finally was released, had dinner that night with my family. It was good. And then I woke up on Saturday, had a glorious time just at the feet of Jesus. And this is where God life comes in, not just the fasting part, but there's just a few things that came to me. One was, do you guys know the first book of the Bible that was shared with Shrek in his swamp?
Psalms.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. Good job, Patrick. You get 10 Jesus dollars for that guess.
Yes.
Good work.
Tootsie Rolls, here I come.
Here you go. The second thing that really hit me was I was reading Acts 2, and just, man, the way Peter explains the gospel, repent and follow Jesus, and then the lifestyle they immediately have at the end of Acts chapter 2, like just really hit me, and how I really want to, as impossible as it sounds, just try to live that life with friends, with family, sharing with one another. And then from there, just like reading a variety of teachings from Jesus. We've been going through the Word. Philemon, the lesser known pronunciation of the one of the letters of Paul. Philemon is his salvation name.
I like the Jamaican vibe you gave it. You gave it earlier.
Yeah, Philemon. Hey, Philemon. Yeah, I like that pronunciation too. That is a good pronunciation of it. But reading that one, also during this chapel this past week, one of our juniors gave a devotional on Romans 6 and just talked about, he said something that really hit me. He's like, as Christians, we're not called to pretend to be like Christ. We're called to trust in him so that he can transform us and make us into his image, into him, by dying to ourselves, by living to him. And I just really liked the way he said that. And then rolling into 1 Peter, which with some of us have started now. 1 Peter chapter 1 talks about how I think it says something to the effect of God caused his grace to work in our lives. Like it's his work, what he's doing. We don't have to force it. It's not about being perfect in our own strength. It's about becoming more like him. And so just with the fasting and the time with God, it was just an amazing week for me, for the things that God had called me to do and talk about. And that then also rolled into after God time on Saturday morning. I went into gaming time with that there Hades, baby. Back at it. Hades back for the third playthrough. I can't remember. I told you guys about the pizza bet, right?
That
yes,
sounds vaguely
you did.
familiar.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Whoever gets the 32 heat.
Yes. So we got the pizza bet. It's alive and well. The guys still haven't made any progress. I've made some progress. I love the way this game progresses. To this point, I've done like 10 or 11 runs during the past week and a half. I've died to every boss, the final boss, every boss I've died to at least once. Every area I've gotten to, I've used all weapons except for the little cannon guy. And it's been, it's the game, Patrick, I'm just reminded why it's our favorite game of all time. The story progression, the gameplay progression, like you just start like super weak, but then you just unlock stuff and it just little by little.
It's just the continuous conversations that you
have. And the conversations,
Oh, so good.
I love listening to them talk. I love unlocking, meeting new characters. It's just like seeing an old friend. Like the first time I went into Eurydice's room in the Asphodel when she's singing by the oven and she sings Good Riddance, I just stopped. I just listened to her sing through the whole song once.
Soundtrack is by far the best soundtrack of any game. It's
so
incredible.
Good. Incredible. What's not incredible is how rusty I was at the game because
oh my gosh, you have to have twitchy like 11-year-old fingers to be able to do.
And I do not have 11-year-old fingers. They're more like I think a few of my fingers are already cashing in AARP or
carpal tunnels setting in. The Chandler claws happening.
Yeah, seriously. Like at some point, I think even tonight when I was playing, I got mixed up between the square and the X, and I was just like mashing the buttons like this. Like I was playing Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I was just like, just die, everything, die in the room. I can't do this. I can't rub my tummy and pat my head at the same time. But two of the times that I really thought I had it, I thought I was going to finish my first run. Though the one time I got to the poison area where if you get poisoned, you have to like drink the soup or whatever by hitting the shoulder button. Except I kept pressing L1 and it was R1. And I just could not figure it out till I was dead. And I was like, I just ruined this amazing run. That hurt real bad. Then the second one was fighting the last boss himself, Hades. And I forgot about his second phase laser beams. I knew his second phase, but I forgot what his big move was. And he melted me because I'm playing in hell mode where you have no bubble. So like you don't get the defensive bubble. Like on regular mode, you get a defensive bubble if you get hit too much. It like saves you from, overkill. And it didn't save me from overkill. I died real bad. It was fun. But on top of that, like the story, as I've told you guys a little bit, and I'm going to touch on this just from time to time. This is probably the most I'm going to talk about it, but I just the story of his pursuit to see his mom, like this game is so good. Like, even if you know stuff, like check it out. Like, and one thing that happened that was funny is I got further in the game than probably the story was ready to tell me because I get to Cerberus when he's guarding, and Zagreus mentions about his mom. And then later on, you go through a flashback where it reveals his mom's Persephone, and he's like, "What? I had no idea." And I'm like, "I just told Cerberus this," but it's just because I got further than the story was ready to tell. So that was a pretty funny part. But yeah, and then just the whole journey to see the mom. So I'm very excited. I got the Malfon gloves, and I'm working on a pretty decent run with Merciless End, which is Athena and Ares, the god of war and the goddess of wisdom. They're going to work together to help me finish my first run. I can feel it.
Good luck.
But yeah, so that's my Igurful. That's the god life, real life, and fake life, all wrapped up into one. And so with that being said, as is tradition, Mark, since you were out 2 weeks, you go
second.
Because I guess that's tradition now. Okay,
that's tradition. Happy 6th birthday.
Okay. So should I talk about nice stuff or should I rip the Band-Aid off?
Ooh. Do you have a med kit for the Band-Aid? Because sometimes you rip the Band-Aid off, it starts bleeding again.
I need some bats. Give me some shield cells. Yeah. So should
it's up to you, man. Flip a coin. Some people like bad news first. I think Patrick's a bad news first guy.
I'm the sandwich. You got to go good news, then a little bit of bad news, and then the good news again.
Okay, so we'll go good news first.
Do a sandwich.
Yeah, we'll do some good news first. So let's go into gaming life. Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to listen to all of last week's episode. I guess you did talk a little bit about Plucky Squire.
I did. Yeah, I played 3 chapters or something like that.
Okay.
By the time we had to record.
So I obviously played the Plucky Squire, which came out literally a week ago. And I beat it the next day. It was
nice.
Dang.
Well done.
It was that freaking good. I loved this game. And so there's a lot of back and forth. There's people that like absolutely love the game or having fun with it, and then there's people who are like, it's okay, and then there's some people who are like, this is too easy, it's child's play, there's no this and this and that and all that kind of stuff. And it's like it's overhyped and all this kind of stuff. And like, I don't know what game they were playing, but like I loved every minute of this game. I enjoyed all the I enjoyed the story. It has a lot of references to like different like gaming tropes and like fantasy tropes and things like that, that are and it does so hilariously and creatively through like the telling of this story of the Plucky Squire. Because if you're not familiar, you basically bounce back and forth between 2D and 3D, and you're in like a storybook, and then you come out of the storybook into the real world, quote unquote. But the storytelling was great. It's got a lot of Zelda type vibes to it, which I'm all about that. The puzzles were unique to me. I was talking to somebody in the MTTG Discord, and I was like, I'm not looking for every game to be a Dark Souls type game. It doesn't need to have.
Are you looking for any game to be Dark Souls?
Well, no. if we're really getting honest, yeah, not really. I don't need that type of difficulty. I want to be able to enjoy the game, and I want to be able to be engaged with the game. So, but yeah, this game was pretty much firing on all cylinders for me. I loved it. The only thing that was kind of, and there were a couple of things that were kind of minor issues. I did run into some glitches to the point where I had to at one point restart the game.
Didn't lose your save or anything?
Thankfully didn't lose any save or anything. But like there were certain things that were not activating when they should have been. And so I was like, oh, I can't go any farther. I have to restart. And then there was one time where I think Jot, the main character, he started T-posing. So that was fun. And so, but otherwise, and I think there was like towards the end, I was really struggling with one of the like end boss portions. But once I got past it, it was fine. But no, this game is in GOTY list territory for me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. This
all right.
This was a really good game. I very much enjoyed it. And my wife, Kristen, has actually started playing. She's actually really close to finishing the game as well. So she's very much enjoying it.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm going to give it 9 light bulbs out of 10. Yep. It's fantastic.
Right. You're going to go after the platinum on this one?
I've considered it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have to look back at it and see if I have to do a complete, like a replay through of the game. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not super long of a game anyway, but
yeah,
I might go for it.
Okay. Saying if you beat it in a day, you could go a little slower and beat it in 2 days.
That's the thought.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so beat that. I'm excited for Zelda to be coming out this week. I had a game fly it, so it's probably not going to be here on Thursday. It's probably going to be a few days, but yeah.
Is it the Zelda game where you're actually Zelda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is Echoes of Wisdom, where you're playing as Zelda, and it's kind of like that Link's Awakening 3D style type game. But I'm excited for it. I think that's the biggest thing. I obviously did jump back into Fortnite with you guys, with Pat and Tim and Justin for a little bit. Haven't played anything else really. Things have been kind of chill on that front, at least until Zelda comes out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the gaming side. The God Life. So I've been still doing the through the word thing. I don't know why I struggled going through Philemon. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Philemon.
Philemon forgives you.
Yeah.
Hey, Philemon, what you doing?
And I mean, it was Chris leading the study, so I don't know what the deal was, but for some reason, like I would listen and I just couldn't focus on it. I don't know if it just wasn't hitting for some reason. I don't know why it wouldn't, but
I'm right there with you. Yeah. It was one of those things where I was listening to it, but none of it was reaching my brain. None of it. And so it was like at the end of it, and I was like, I don't even know what the heck just happened.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything. So I had to listen to it again. So I listened to it again, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna listen to it now. But for whatever reason, the first time I was right there with you. I don't know why, but it wasn't connecting. I don't think, maybe it was because I can't remember this book of the Bible at all.
Yeah.
I was like, this is got to be the shortest book in the Bible. If not, it's close to being the shortest.
It's not, but it's one of the few one chapter.
Because it's one of those things where you like flip through the pages and you get to Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you're just like, Philemon's not there because it's only one page in my book.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I just, for some reason, like my mind would just like trail off, or like I would listen to it and I just wasn't retaining it, and I would listen to it again, and I get a little bit more, but like I don't know what it was. Things are getting better with First Peter, but
dude, First Peter, I listened to chapter 1 like 5 times the first day, just because I was like, man, this is so good. I need to listen to this again.
Yeah.
I mean, lately, every chapter has been a B-side, C-side, D-side.
Well, that's true.
So.
Q-side.
Yeah. I will say, I don't know what the deal is with, I don't know if you guys ran into this problem, but the guy that's doing First Peter, like his audio is super quiet.
So low.
It's so low. Yeah.
It's Ross low. Like, it's just like, bring it down.
I had to
like the guy reading the verse is like, and then Peter said, and then this guy's like, so here's what we're going to do, guys. Like, oh my gosh, someone turn up or down the other.
Which, I mean, he sounds like a great teacher, but like, I just, for some reason, his audio is just super quiet. But yeah, I
want to just give a quick shout out to Philemon. I appreciate, I'm going to kind of be like Joey here and be like, I like it, but I found not saying you guys didn't like it, but it was kind of like this, it clicked with me this time, because it was like, to me, listening to Philemon from Paul's perspective, and then Chris kind of pointing out, it's like a how-to guide, how to like be a peacemaker, like how to intercede on behalf of others between two parties. Like, and I think that's a really important, you have times when friends are fighting, when people in your family are fighting, when people at work, where you feel like you're between a rock and a hard place. And I feel like Philemon like actually gives you principles and, really hits on identity, hits on humility and aspects of our faith that is more than just, hey, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. Instead, it's like, hey, we have a unity issue that Christ called us to live out. And so let's, it's like teaching you through Paul how to be a mediator between two people that have very different opinions or perspectives or whatever, between a slave and his master. Like I really appreciated it a lot this time around. But
sure. Maybe I just need to do a deeper dive on it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a lot of good stuff,
nuggets
to find in it, but for some reason it just wasn't clicking with me for whatever reason. I don't know. But yeah, so I just realized I didn't make the sandwich that I was supposed to be making.
Well,
it's all good. I'll try to, like, one side of the sandwich is going to have a lot more bread than the other side.
That happens.
I really don't like it when like the bottom layer of your sandwich, like if you have like a bun,
paper thin,
is like the paper thin, and you put a juicy burger on it, it just becomes just wasteful.
Yeah, you got to turn it upside down. I have to put the thicker bread on the bottom.
Yes, 100%.
So I'll try to give it a little bit more padding underneath, but it's definitely going to be heavy on the top. But so on the real side of things, it's been a ride of a week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to go into too many details on, the ins and outs of what happened, but so not this past Friday, but the Friday before, unfortunately, I got fired from my job. And so, it's just a performance conduct kind of thing, and it's on me. So I just have to deal with it. And so, this past week's been rough for sure. Friday and Saturday, I was just gone. There was no, I just felt like I was floundering. But I got a lot of perspective on things, and I just kind of have to take the bad and push forward with it. So
right.
And learn from my mistakes and just be better. But unfortunately, that puts us in some financial troubles at the moment. But
Mm-hmm.
God is good, and He'll take care of it. And so just been I had a conversation with my in-laws, and they were like, well, the big thing is you need to not be idle right now. I mean, obviously you're going to be looking for another job. But in the meantime, you don't know when this job is going to come. And so in between, you're like looking for jobs and things like that, do things like clean around the house, or go out, find things to where you're not idle and not spiraling. And so I've kind of developed this habit of like, okay, I get up, I take Kristen to her internship and everything, and that's when I do my quiet time, and then I come home, I do some job searching, and just been doing a lot of cleaning around this area and things like that, things that we haven't really been able to get to because her and I have both been so busy and things like that with work and all this kind of stuff. And just keeping a a routine going, even though I'm not working. So working without working per se. That being said, I did I did play through Plucky Squire and beat it in the span of the day. But I mean, for the most part, I've been trying to keep structured, and there are good days and bad days. I know I'm not the first person to get fired or lose a job or whatever. But I'm just trying to remain as positive as possible and know that even in my shortcomings, my mistakes, that God's good and he's in control and he's got it. Definitely. So yeah, just been and then on top of that, so that Sunday, you know how children are petri dishes, and and
yeah, heard that.
We have 3 of them in this household, and so one of them, the oldest of my nephews, from the ones that live in the house, they started. One of them started to get sick, and he was throwing up and all this kind of stuff, and for a couple of days he was out of commission. And then Sunday I started getting nauseous, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks, and it went through the entire household. I got sick, and then my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law got sick right around the same time I did, and it was like Montezuma's revenge, basically, and like throwing
like
up.
Epicac commercial.
Yep. And
hey, can you pass me the saw?
But yeah, I was. It knocked me out for a good while, and then my father-in-law started getting it, and then Kristen, actually, she got it, but she got it the weakest. Like, she got nauseous, but she never actually threw up. And so, I mean, that's par for the course, because like anytime I get COVID, she dodges it, and I don't understand it. But
she has a healing factor.
Yeah. But no, so I was out of commission Sunday into Monday. I couldn't eat. Like, I had, like, in the Tuesday, I started having like some toast and stuff like that. But
so you and Lucas fasted together.
Yeah.
A week apart, but still,
you beat me to
it. God was a lot nicer with it with you, Lucas.
He was.
He didn't require a complete evacuation of your
no sacrifice on my part was necessary. No offering, as it were.
Yes. But I didn't actually have a full meal until Thursday.
Vish.
And so that was gross. I didn't like that at all. But thankfully doing better now. On the movie side of things / TV. So during all of the Earl stuff that was going on, they came out with on Disney Plus. They came out with a Lego Star Wars.
I forgot to watch that.
I think it was called Rebuild the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically a multiversal Lego Star Wars type show. Like, the main character kind of breaks open the multiverse, and he has to try to go fix it. And they like mix and match all these different things. Like, all the good guys are like Siths now. Like, there's Darth Jar Jar, and
of course there is.
Yeah, like it's crazy. And the Empire guys like are all Jedi, but they're like super sheepish Jedi that don't want to help, because they're afraid of getting involved in all this kind of stuff. And It's hilarious, and it's very much done in like the Lego Movie type style. If you like that type of humor, and I think they had
it's animated, Patrick.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know, but it's Lego, so
it's Lego.
It's
magical.
Yeah. But it's 4 episodes, I believe.
It's episodic.
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes.
Usually
each.
they just do specials, like a 45-minute special.
Yeah, it's like 30, 40 minutes each, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun with it. They actually got a couple of the main Star Wars people to be involved.
I
won't say who specifically. I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I mean, you already gave away Darth Jar Jar, so
that got me. That got me.
Yeah.
We's gonna kill you.
Well, there's other people I won't
All right.
I won't give away, but
but
it's hilarious.
4 episodes, 25, 26, 26, and 27 minutes each.
Yeah, so very bite size, easy to take in. So highly recommend it. I'm gonna give it 7.5 corner pieces out of 10.
All right,
that's good.
Okay, it's good.
It's good. I think that is pretty much it with me. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that leaves then Kakalaki Whitney.
All right. Well, nothing happened in my life this past week, so.
Well, he decided.
Oh, hey, Patrick.
I'm sorry. I'm still here. I was gonna watch Disney.
I thought you were gonna watch. That Star Wars special. I'm sorry. We can go to you since Kakalaki Whitney's not here.
Well, Kakalaki Whitney actually submitted his in text format.
He did. I was about to read it just because Patrick,
he wrote in on the Discord.
Isn't he the one that always promotes our voicemail and everything?
Yeah, right.
What the heck?
Call the phone number.
Ryan.
Fava beans.
Not exactly what I was going for, but okay.
Nope, that's what I heard though.
Fair enough.
So are we going with Ryan?
Nah, we'll wait. He's a joiner right now, a dead joiner. So
he's been promoted.
Go ahead, Patty. What's up? How are you?
So
how are you, Si?
Good. Real life side of things is pretty bare bones over this past week. The only thing of note is my buddy Chris, who has done the GMG graphics for us. He turned 40.
Old man.
So yeah. So we had a 1920s themed party at a local brewery downtown.
Nice.
And I've never done a 1920s like costume party or anything like that before. So it was kind of cool.
Mafia.
Yeah, so it was cool. People had like Tommy guns, and people were like they were dressed to the nines. It was really, really cool. So I haven't.
Back in the day, they said dressed to the sevens because the numbers didn't go that high. It was olden days.
Dressed to the VIIs.
Yeah, that's what it was. Dressed to the 1Xs.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Had a good time. On the IFL side of things, I played the Plucky Squire. I got through maybe 4 chapters, and I'm bored.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The puzzles I could really do without. I feel like they're very, very simple puzzles. The action and the combat is bare bones. It's like you're using your sword for slash, you're rolling, you may throw your sword every once in a while if you need to. It's okay. The game, the way that this game really shines is going from 2D to 3D, the narration and the comedy. It's written like so well. It's so well written. But there's not enough for me to continue to play. I was really excited when I first played last week before we did the podcast, and then I jumped in again and I was like, this is it's very shallow. There's not a lot of depth to it. So I don't know if I'm going to jump back in. I haven't. So instead of playing that, I just watched a couple things this past week. A couple things of note. So, Mark, you were talking about Disney Plus. I really thought you were going to talk about Agatha Harkness, that new show on Disney Plus. It's I think there's 2 episodes so far. I don't know when the new episodes come out yet, but the last week the 2 episodes dropped, and I mean it's like a continuation of WandaVision. It's really cool. Some of the same characters, and Agatha Harkness. Spoilers for WandaVision. She loses all of her powers, and she's trying to get her powers back. And the cast of characters that is in this is great. One of my favorite. She's not really a lead actress. She's usually like the side actress. I can't remember her name for the life of me. I want to say Oliver Platt, but that's a man's name.
Aubrey Plaza.
Definitely like
Aubrey Plaza. Yes. She's hilarious.
Parks and Rec.
Platt. Yeah, Aubrey Plaza. Those are similar.
Yeah. So she's funny. She's really funny.
Oliver Platt. I haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's like Patrick's pulling from the files.
I don't know what this Dewey Decimal System isn't working anymore.
No, it's broken.
But yeah, so it's fun so far. I'm enjoying it. And then I saw did you see this trailer for this movie called Den of Thieves 2 with Gerard Butler? And I was like, 2? When did the first one
come out? 1?
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? So I looked at it. It was 2018 the movie came out. It is a crime heist action movie.
Oh,
and I was like,
heist.
I am with Gerard Butler. Gerard Butler is he's like part of the crimes division, police department, and he's trying to track down these thieves that are going to be stealing from the FBI. Maybe not the FBI, the Federal Reserve, and it's
what does the FBI have that they're going to steal from? We want your paperwork.
This Dewey Decimal System, like I said, is not working right now. I'm moving to the wrong F's. But it's like Ocean's 11 if it was an action movie. Like the whole movie, they're talking about what the heist, and they're getting things together. They're putting all things in the right order, and then all of a sudden at the end of the movie is when they actually do the heist. And Gerard Butler is trying to find them and capture them and get them caught in the act of the entire movie. Super, super cool movie. It is. It's an R movie. A lot of action, a lot of language. There is some brief nudity, but there is some nudity in it. And it was. I felt like I was like, how did I miss this? How did I miss a crime heist movie with Gerard Butler? I don't know what was going on in 2018, but I totally missed it. And now in Den of Thieves 2, he doesn't like to be the hunter anymore, Gerard Butler. So what he's going to do the heist this time in Den of Thieves 2. He's going to get with the bad guys and do the heist. I'm like, yes, really cool. So if you haven't seen or heard of Den of Thieves 2 and you don't care about the language, action, there's some death in there too. So be careful. Good movie. I would give this a B+. Really cool.
All right.
Yeah. And then on the God life. So at church, we are currently going through 1 Peter.
Doesn't that figure?
For 8 weeks.
Coincidence?
It's Joe incidence.
It's God coincidence. Oh no, it's Joe incidence because it's Jesus coincidence. You're right.
Yeah. That's what I was going for. You got it. Right on.
I was going with God coincidence, but that doesn't sound right.
But so this past Sunday, it was about submitting to authority. And one of the first things the pastor says, he's like, as adults, we don't like being told what to do. And I leaned forward and I was like, I'm listening. This sermon is for me. And then he proceeds to say, submit to others because that's the Christian way of doing things. And he kind of, he put it in perspective of, when Jesus was like, who's on the coin? It's Caesar. Then give what is Caesar's, give it to him. And I was like, and I was just thinking in the perspective that I got from the sermon. I'm like, yeah, I don't like being told what to do, but maybe I should in certain things, as long as I don't forget my faith, kind of thing.
Right.
So really cool sermon. And I'm like, so First Peter, I don't think I'm gonna get through it as fast as the rest of the guys through the word, because I'm going to kind of go through it with church. And I'm gonna do it together, because we're over the next 8 weeks. So it's not like we're reading a ton every week, but I'm gonna let it sink in over the next 8 weeks. Yeah,
I might give you some supplemental stuff if you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, like,
First Peter padding.
Yeah, so if you have any Bible project stuff or
Spoken
anything
Gospel
else, yeah,
dude, Spoken Gospel has some extras, like some excellent dramatizations of the book of First Peter, Second Peter, where they meld theology, biblical context, and the overall narrative of the story, or the letter, really, and what it's trying to accomplish and talk about. It's so good.
Yeah, the what we're trying to find, it must be upstairs. We have like a little thing that we're supposed to use as far as a guide to read so many verses every single day over the next weeks.
Yeah.
And the one, it's like a 3-step process. Is one, read these verses, but read these verses in multiple different versions.
Yeah,
like the ESV, the NIT, the NLT, things like that. So read all those, and then you're supposed to meditate on it and then pray on it too. So kind of just let it sink in. And so I'm just gonna do that. So I might be behind a little bit on First Peter with you guys, and which is fine, because I couldn't hear. So when I'm walking downtown back and forth from work to my car, I couldn't even hear him because of the traffic. Like, I could hear all the others folks, but this new guy, I can't hear him at all. So when I get to my car, I try to turn it up. I feel like I'm going to blow my speakers with how high I'm turning it up. Like, it is up to 26 of 30. And I'm like, I don't want to be this high. So as soon as I get home, then I forget all about it, and then I'll do it. So I'm just going to go along with it at home when I'm doing these little steps for church.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. That's it. Yeah. That's all she wrote.
All she wrote. Hey now. Look at us.
Hey now.
Who would have thought? All right. So we're going to ease into our other Earls and Iffles and Iggles. We're actually going to do a quick GMG mailbag, where yesterday, before we made a call out for the show, we got a question that we alluded to earlier, and now we're going to take the pin out. Princess J Cuz had this to say on the Discord. Priceless J Cuz, for those of you who are wondering. Thoughts on the increasing development and progression of AI? What do you think are some of the benefits that come along with it, and what are your concerns with it? All right. You can either be, in this moment, you can be a cool kid kicking it with the other cool kids, or you can be an old man yelling at the clouds, or somewhere in between.
I think I'm somewhere in between. I think we're already in the world of AI with Alexa and Siri and Hey Google and things like that. Like
Echo and Ziggy.
Yeah. I mean, it's very, very convenient when I wake up in the morning and I ask her, how long is it going to take to get to work? And she gives me a route and tells me it's going to be like 17, 19 minutes, whatever. Like, it's so nice to be able to do that and to not have to look it up myself. So that type of AI is really, really nice. Stuff that helps, stuff that does that I don't have to do on my own. Because go back 30 years. Go back 10 years, 15 years, whatever. You get your weather from a newspaper, or turn on the Weather Channel, or turn on local news, and you have to get it somewhere. This is just a faster way to do it. For games, or for the PS5 Pro, the ability to use AI to make things in the background clearer and more crisp because it's using the data that's already there. It makes everything look nice. So it's using the artists and the developers, what they ever put on there, and it's going to look exactly the way they want it. And
they confirm that's going to be on the PS5 Pro. Is it AI to make it crisper?
So whenever you like, it's draw distance. It's basically draw distance. Yeah. It's better draw distance, and AI is doing that. It has nothing to do with
cutting corners,
cutting corners, or taking a job away from an artist or developer to be able to do that. Like, they still need to do the draw distance.
Not yet.
The AI is just making it look clear. Like that's of course. They're just changing the lens on the camera and to make it clear. That's
they're not changing it. The
sure.
AI is changing it.
The robot's coming in and changing it for them. And then
the robot with its little.
I think that stuff is very, very helpful. Where I do not think AI is good is when it takes away jobs. But I mean, shoot, technology has been taking away jobs for
ever.
Yeah, right. Forever. And whether that's technology that's electricity based, or new technology like the invention of the wheel, or inventions of cars, just taking jobs away from, like farmers who had to give away their donkeys or their horses or anything like that. Like, now we're using cars. Like, technology has been a thing forever. And just taking away jobs. It's just now we're in a very, very fast-paced AI where things are changing at a more and more rapid pace than I think that we should be going. I mean, if that makes any sense.
It does.
That's my initial perspectives. I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I basically echo what you're saying. Things that can enhance certain experiences while not taking away from human productivity, things that humans creativity for sure. Especially like when it comes to like AI art, and we know some people who are very, very vehement about their opinions on that.
I mean, right now AI art looks like trash. Like, it's fun.
It's so obvious to tell.
Yes, it is fun. So obvious, but it's fun. But don't use it on things. Just do it for fun,
like real stuff.
I was gonna say, sadly, there are people who are doing that. Like,
wasn't the beginning of Loki? That wasn't at all.
No, it was the beginning of Wait, wasn't it the beginning of the one with Samuel Jackson?
Oh,
Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
I thought Secret Invasion was the AI.
Yeah, it must have been. It was Secret Invasion.
That creeped my son out. He was like, "I don't like this. This is unsettling. This art." And I'm like, "It's because it's AI art."
Yeah, but like there's a particular comic book artist that is under fire right now because it's been shown that some of his artwork that he's passing off as his own.
Some of quote unquote his.
Yeah.
He did click the button to tell the AI to make it. So that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in Excel spreadsheet, and I put in a couple things and I enter a formula and it drops everything and creates the whole thing for me. Like,
wow.
Did I do that?
You are a fake
Did I do that?
worker.
I am an Excel spreadsheet. I am an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I will say this, like, what the other concerning thing is, like, musicians and artists like that. It's getting really creepy how good these AI programs are, how good they are at recreating voices.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like
over this past week, speaking of voices, there have been a lot of football is on my feed right now. NFL football is on my feed.
I would never believe that.
And so there's a lot of like posts of press conferences from actual NFL players giving speeches after a game that it is not them at all. It sounds 100% like them, and it looks real. And the only reason it's not real because it's so outlandish. It's like what do you think they want to say, but they don't say it because they don't want to get fined. They like their money, things like that. But it was just like this. I did not know it was not real until I looked at the top and it said this is AI generated. And then I listened to the rest of it. I was like, oh, okay, I can get this as AI, but man, this is looking really, really close to real.
Yeah,
scary.
That's why
scary.
That's why so many actors and voice actors and stuff like that, they're really going to bat in terms of, making sure that there are protections in place and also payment in place for using their likeness. Like, for example, the recently departed James Earl Jones, he actually signed his voice likeness over.
Yes, good.
Yeah,
what about is it not just voices? Are we talking about like Indiana Jones and the Circle of Truth, whatever it's called? Are we
Circle of Truth, the Dial of Destiny?
No,
was that an AI generated title? No. That didn't sound real. Did you type that in
the video game?
GPT?
The new game.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
They're making him look like Harrison Ford, but it's not Harrison Ford. What would be really cool if Harrison Ford's like, hey, what would you pay someone else to do this? I'll give you my voice, and then it would sound like him. I would love that as a fan, as a customer. I would love that, but I don't want that to be at the detriment of the person's likeness. Because you've seen NCAA football. Now they're like to be in the game, be represented, you have to get paid. Why not everything else?
Yeah. I think with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle
of Truth is better.
It's a Circle of Truth.
Is like, so their version of Indiana Jones is like just enough for it to look like Harrison Ford, but just enough to fudge it and be like, we can kind of get away with this and not have to pay likeness royalties and things like that.
Yeah, is it like in Spaceballs? Is it like in Spaceballs when they stumble upon the stunt doubles and the like bearded man and it's like it looks like them? Then they turn around, and you're like, wait, this is
it's a lot closer. He's pretty dang close to Harrison Ford's likeness, but there are certain things that are like kind of off of it.
I think it's because it's not his voice. I think it throws it off.
Yeah. Well, I just think in the face and things like that, just like looking at it, it's like it like mostly looks like Harrison Ford, but there's certain things that like, it's like, well, no, not quite, but I don't know. But in any case, I don't know what the legalities are and the particulars of that. He's got to have gotten some sort of royalty for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, those are the dangers. So I think there needs to be some real heavy regulation on AI and how it's used and when it's used. So
man, we can regulate it all we want, but life, even if it's artificial, finds a way.
Sure.
I mean the regulations aren't going to stop people doing what they do.
And but it's going to make it a lot harder.
Stealing on this, sure, but that's like they're going to use AI to break the regulations of the AI. Like
the AI lawyer is going to read the documents
exactly and find the loophole, and it's going to just work right around it.
I mean, dude, is that out of the realm of possibility? It doesn't sound like it.
I'm going to be the man in the room that I am not like losing sleep over this nervous, but
I think it's because I'm not in a creative role. Lucas, you're not in a creative role, but Mark, you
I am in a creative role. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean,
I'm in a school system where kids are supposed to create essays. I'm a chaplain where I'm supposed to create sermons every week. I can just type in like I want Romans 6. I Romans 6 study for 5 days.
But can't you use that as like
merged with Star Wars? Like I could put all kinds of stuff. And it's not that it's bad. It's just like the progression of my creative mind starts to atrophy the less I use it. And so the more I rely on AI to create and make things happen, while it might make it easier for me to focus on other things, for example, and this is where I'm going to get really spiritual, because when you preach the word, when you talk about the Bible, when you talk about the words of Christ, the point of it is to not just speak words and to create, 3 steps to this. And that's not even the point. The point is to meditate on it, to think about it, to allow it to read you. And if I just let an AI to make things happen, and then I just regurgitate what the AI is saying, am I speaking God's word or am I speaking the AI's interpretation of God's word? And so you get into this blurry line where it's like, guys, we got to be careful, because we're no longer meditating on God's word. We're taking the quick microwave it up route, where we're supposed to be taking time with this, So I'm a little nervous. Yeah. Speaking honestly.
I don't want to take the microwave route when.
No, and it's like microwave on steroids. This isn't like
you did. I was pointing on my chest. I was like, you got to speak from your heart when you're doing that. You can't just memorize things and then easy, just one ear out the other.
Way too easy. And I've used it a few times, and I'm keeping myself I'm putting up guardrails for myself.
Do you use it to help brainstorm? Like, is that something that you use? I want to do a lesson on this. I need some buzzwords to help me kind of get started, or how does that?
Once or twice I have, but for the most part, what I've used it to do is to collect information. So like I find when I Google something, like for example, I want all the scriptures on end times. When I Google that, there's like all these lists, but they're so incomplete, or they have like a denominational bend to them. Like if it's Catholics or Baptists or Calvinists or whatever. Whereas with AI, I can say I want all the scriptures that talk about end times in any perspective, and it gives me it grabs all the information, and it gathers it all together for me in a nice, very neat, like, here are the 30 scriptures that talk about end times. And it's much better at analyzing like what actually is an end time verse. And then there's others where people have made search engines where it's like it's end times, but when you read it, it's like it's not really end times.
Yeah.
So that's just an example. I did that earlier this week because I want to talk about but like that saves me time from like leafing through and like trying to pinpoint, okay, there's this verse. Instead, it gives me all the verses. Now on my own, I'm going to read the verses. I'm going to read the context on my own, and I'm going to come to my own conclusions based off the word, not based off what the AI says that most people have said this is the conclusion you should come to.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't yet reached the point where I feel like I need AI to brainstorm for me Bible-wise, but I will say it helped me in a pinch when James was sick. I needed to make up some substitute plans, and I wanted my students to watch some videos that talked about Bible Project videos that talked about Jesus as priest, the high priestly role of Jesus. And I didn't want them to just watch it because I knew that they would like half pay attention or whatever. So I put the links of the videos, or the titles of the videos, the links, into ChatGPT, and then I said, make me a 20 fill in the blank worksheet, and it grabbed all that information and it made 20 fill in the blank questions with an answer key, and I was like, now this I can get behind. We're grabbing and compiling this information where I don't have curriculum for Bible Project, but the Bible Project stuff is so good. Now, I will say that after the fact, I ran into some repetitiveness. Like there was one that was blank priests, like blank priesthood, and it called it priestly priesthood. And I'm like, that's not right.
Oh yeah, you get that.
So you got to correct some of those things where it misreads the room. But that helped me a lot. But my worry is just in the overall nature of the human being when we start taking the easy route, and when just it's just going to be.
When you do that, you don't retain stuff.
No, you don't. You don't
at all.
And I think that the exponential rate at which AI is learning, we're feeding it into every area of life, every work area, every creative, and it's helping us. It's really helping us, and it's making technology stuff happen even faster, to the point where it's kind of like culturally speaking, when we started giving our kids tablets at 2 and 3 years old. They could use it better than us, but at the same time, they're skipping steps. And now we have a generation of kids that have never played outside. We had a generation of kids that have no immunity systems, because they didn't play in the dirt. They didn't play in the dander. You have all these there's a line in Once Upon a Time, a TV show that a lot of people haven't watched, but one of the main characters always says, magic always comes with a price. And so AI is magic in some ways. Like, it just does stuff that is like, this is crazy the way it can create. I mean, I did last year, you guys remember, I had Yoda preach an Easter sermon, and I just read the sermon in Yoda's, backwards way of talking. It was this classic. And if I would have used that, maybe nobody would be the wiser, and I could just claim it as mine. But at the same time, it can get dangerous, and people are going to use it for good. They're going to use it for evil, and it's going to take on a life of its own. Not maybe like Terminator or anything,
Skynet,
but it's gonna just continue to build on itself exponentially, to the point where people aren't going to be able to tell what's real and what's not, who's real and who's not. It's like we're going to see real life stuff happen that we've seen in movies. I'm just telling you. It's gonna happen.
Then everyone's going to get lazy and fat.
And the prophecy of Wall-E is going to come true.
There it is.
And then the AI is going to have to protect us from ourselves, and it's going to take us over. And here we have the beast and the Antichrist. So the end times are coming.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah. It's said in Revelation that the beast raised itself out of the sea. And oftentimes in the Bible, the sea is representative of humanity. So I'm not calling it first, but AI could very well be the beast of Revelation. That's for you, Ryan Straube, if you're listening.
Slow down, AI. Slow down.
Still gotta
watch my kids grow up.
Can't slow down.
don't you dare.
No, soon you won't have to watch your kids grow up. You just say, AI, show me what my kids are going to grow up to be like, and then you can just watch it.
Man, that's
and
awful,
you don't have
bro.
to watch, and you can say, you know what, your AI version of your life was way better than your real life kid.
Have you ever watched videos from years ago when your kids were little, and you're like, I wish I could be back in that time? Like, you're just watching a video. It's just like, it feels ancillary. You want to be there, So
have you seen the AI make like photos and old videos into real videos?
That's creepy.
Crazy. Have you seen where the AI has made people that have lost loved ones like be able to spend augmented reality time with them and see them and be around them?
Would you do that?
I don't think I would.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
That's not honoring my mother's memory by spending time with her fake self. Like, I'm going to see her in real life someday after this life. So I'm patient. I can wait. If it's going to be eternity, I can wait 60, 70 years. So no, I find it interesting. I think I'd rather hang out with like a Pokemon in augmented reality and throw
there you go.
Like, just do a video game or something funny and silly.
Like hang out with Nathan Drake.
Okay.
No, that was a good question. That was a good question.
That was a good question.
It brings us back to our topic days.
Right?
It's true story.
That felt good. Speaking of anniversaries, there's a throwback to a topic day.
I like it. I like it a lot. We're going to keep going with the priceless J-Cuz train. Just so you guys know, if you want to share what's new with your neck of the woods, new with you in your neck of the woods. Guess what, guys? 6 years later, and I still got to screw up sometime and can't read my own
God bless you.
Yep. Let's do some quick housekeeping where we offer you towels, fluff pillows, topped with Andy's candies, and tip you off how you can connect with the GMGU on Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and Instagram. You can share what's new with you, just like Priceless J-Cuz did back again after his AI question. That was very brought about some very titillating conversation. He had this update to share. Earl, last Wednesday was me and my wife's 17th wedding anniversary, and tomorrow is my wife's birthday. Look at that. Happy birthday, Mrs. Actually, this is actually Princess J-Cuz. Happy birthday, Princess J-Cuz. And happy anniversary, you guys. 17 years. My wife and I got 19 years, so we're only ahead of you by 2.
Very nice.
Yeah. Her name's Nisha, by the way. I didn't read that before. Oh, hey. We got a someone back from the dead, Kakalaki Whitney, in the house here to join us as we read about Priceless J-Cuz's life. We just met Princess J-Cuz, Nisha. How are you, Ryan?
I'm so tired.
Yeah, you look tired. You sure you should be here? You're gonna fall asleep
I
while we're
told you
this.
that I was gonna join when I got back.
You did. You're a man
So
of your
I'm
word.
here.
Even though are you gonna read your update that we're gonna get to?
Y'all go ahead. I just wanted to let y'all know that I love you.
We love you too, man.
I'll be back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, y'all go ahead. I'm just here in the wings. I'm
All
Batman.
right. Anytime you can,
here
muster up
sport.
some energy to share something, you feel free. All right. So J-Cuz said, I love happy anniversary and birthday, Nisha. I love you more than you can imagine. Then they went to the movies with his oldest son to see Transformers 1. Man, that looks really good. I hope to get to see that. And he said it was better than he expected. Had a few callbacks to the previous movies and series. I give it a solid 4 Bo-Berry biscuits out of 5. What's a Bo-Berry biscuit? That sounds yummy.
From Bojangles?
Oh, Bojangles. Yes. Sorry.
Buttery biscuits.
Without the jangles. Yeah, buttery Bo-Berry.
But they're blueberry buttered
blueberry biscuits. That sounds magical. That sounds scrumptiddlyumptious.
It's like a frosting on it too.
All right. I'm down.
Yeah.
I got to find a Bojangles. Is there Bojangles in Ohio, Patrick?
There's not.
That's sad.
Oh, man.
That means
I don't
you have
think
to
there's
come
any in West
visit me.
I guess it's time to go east. All right. Iffle, haven't done much gaming lately. Planning on finally finishing up Cyberpunk 2077. I think I added a syllable there. And Diablo 4. Was looking at a few games on Game Pass that I may start a playthrough on, but not sure yet. All right. Happy hunting, J-Cuz, in your game of choice. Iggle went and did some outreach this past Saturday, handing out some food to people in need. This was the first time being part of an outreach program, and I enjoyed every second of it. We'll be helping out there every other month going forward. I have my second class of the ministry leadership and training coming up this Saturday, and I'm excited to see what I can learn from the next class. Stay blessed in the name of Jesus. Amen, brother. Amen.
Amen.
God bless your training and your outreach. That's awesome. Giving and receiving. All right. Next up is Pizza Destroyer, Aaron Earl. Saturday afternoon, I went to my hometown's annual music festival. Those are always fun. Saw a couple of cool bands. Feels like it's been raining nonstop since the evening, so we're on about a day 4 with no sunshine. Still job hunting. No bites just yet.
I feel you.
Yeah, man. Marc's with you. You guys go hunting together. Digitally, of course.
Hunting I will go.
Or you can go actual hunting.
I mean, that would be fun too. Why not? All right. Iffle, mainly Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but I've been playing other things here and there. I'd really like to roll credits on the story before Shadows drops, but that's on 11/12, so it might be close. Oh, that's November 12th, isn't it?
It sure is.
I don't know. That's like a month and a half.
11/12. You got plenty.
I believe in you. Believe in you.
Yeah. This game is so engrossing on the main path, but there's so much of it. I'm 48 hours in, and I don't even think I'm halfway yet. Oh man, you got to say no. Mainline it. Say no to the little icons everywhere. Also tried a demo of a game called Romancing Saga 2: Revenge of the Seven. The subtitle makes sense in context. We'll take your word for it. It's a remake of a SNES game from 1993, classic. I already liked the series, but this demo hooked me so immediately that I stopped and deleted it early just to not spoil the prologue for myself. That's coming out in October, so I need to polish off another game or two before it does. Yes. All right. That sounds fun, man.
Sweet
Enjoy
deal.
that. All right. Next up, Black Ryan. Well, howdy, hey.
Hold on. No. Let's, Ryan, you read this.
Okay, fine. I will.
Yes.
Well, howdy, hey. I wouldn't say it like, well, howdy, hey.
Why not?
Does he sound Mr. Hanky?
Oh, never mind. Lucas, read this in what you think Ryan would say it as.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What have you done?
Yes, I would love to hear this.
Well, howdy, hey, I pity the fool. Black Ryan coming you from the grave, fool. All right, go ahead. Continue.
Nope,
I can't
you
do
gotta
a
read it
whole
in
update
Mr.
like
T
that.
voice.
Nobody's going to listen to that.
Well, IRL, wife took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge this past weekend
That's
for late
right.
B-Day celebration for Kingston. It was also, I didn't put this in there, but it was my son and my wife's best friend share they don't share a birthday, but they're close to each other in birth. So it was his birthday, but they're best friends. So he wanted Kingston to come, so that's why they went to Great Wolf Lodge.
Nice.
And then she just took the kids with her. So me and the dog just chilled. Otherwise, it has literally been all work. Ever since I took on Call of Duties last, what was that, Wednesday, Thursday, I've had a call every single day.
Get out of here.
Oof.
Every day. Last night I had one at 10:30.
Gross.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is also where I currently was. Which you'll see the picture down there. I'll explain what it is. But I thank God for tomorrow because that's my last night of being on call for the next 2 weeks. So praise God for that. Iffle, I beat Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Let's go.
Spider-Man.
Both of them are great games,
proud.
but I definitely enjoyed Miles more.
Miles Morales is so good. Oh,
I think it's the powers. I think it was the powers.
Dude, the powers
Venom
are
powers was
the Venom, lightning, everything.
Yeah, that's what I did. I kept the Venom meter.
I thought the music would kept
the music was way better.
Oh,
too.
the music was fire.
I like the story of that one more too.
Yep.
Like the story in Spider-Man was good, but like this one, I don't know, just connected more with me.
It amps up, I think. Each of the Spider-Man stories gets better and better, I think.
I will say, because of how short that was, I think that could have just been like a DLC added into Spider-Man. But you would have there would have been so much extra legwork with all the Venom powers and stuff.
I'm pretty sure the initial vision was supposed to be DLC. But they did the same thing like they did with Uncharted Lost Legacy. They just made it a standalone game.
Yeah.
Dude,
like the Venom power, like figuring out how to build that into Spider-Man, I think would have been kind of for that game. It would have been kind of weird, but it still worked out. I still definitely enjoyed it.
Let's put it this way, Ryan. Like Miles Morales is the only game that I have platinumed.
I may platinum it.
So much you like it.
Yeah, that's how much
Make
I
it a
like
quadfecta, then all four of us would have platinumed it.
I might try. I will definitely probably play that one more. I still have both of them on there. I did load Ghost of Tsushima today, but that was far as I got before I got this call. I was running out of space on the PlayStation, so I deleted Destiny 2 off of it.
There we go. Commitment.
Sure
That's what I'm talking about.
That was Grayson
tough, right?
kind of played down here. Grayson and Kingston. They'll sometimes hop on there because of crossplay and everything, and I didn't really buy any of the DLCs for them. So they're free to play anyway, but they haven't played in so long that they don't care. They've been playing Fortnite.
I'm gonna call fake news on you, Mark.
I realized what I said. Yeah,
you have 2 platinums. The other
Spider-Man
platinum
2.
is Spider-Man 2. Yep.
I was gonna wait until Ryan was done.
How
talking.
you don't have Spider-Man 1 platinumed?
Oh, because I went back and that's gross.
It is the best one. It's the
You
best
hated
one.
his face.
Yeah, no, I tried going through that and I was like, something about it. I did not like the platinum list for that.
Yeah.
But yes, you are right. I did platinum Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, good job.
And then Eagle for me, I'm still trucking along through the word with you guys.
Hey, you're
I'm
not
on
with us
second
anymore.
Peter.
You're beyond us.
Yeah. I said trucking. I'm keeping it moving, man. I've read 2 Peter chapter 1 today. Also been doing some other Bible studies. I think I did one on Proverbs last week, and this week I started one, and I don't remember what it is. So I'll look at my phone while I continue reading this. Trying to fill up on the word daily.
Yep.
Which has been helping a lot with controlling my anger, honestly, at home. Because after work I'm usually a crankosaurus and just a jerk. So that's been helpful. Yeah. I sing this upcoming Sunday. Invited a couple of people that live at my property to church. We'll see what happens. If they don't show up, it's fine. I put the word out there, and that's it for me. Grace and peace to you all. And that is what I was working on before I joined.
That looks disgusting.
That is the back of a freezer. Like if you take apart a standard refrigerator, you've got the freezer compartment up top. That's what's behind the wall. And all of that white that you see is ice.
Snow? Was it outside?
No.
Is it snowing early in the Kakalakis?
I did. The apartment that I went into, that one, they had a kid that was still up. And as I was thawing out some of the ice, I made like a snowball. I was like, "Hey, buddy, you want to throw a snowball outside?"
Nice.
But he was like, "Me." He was like all shy. So,
you should have been like, "Hey, kid, you want to throw the snowball at your parents for letting the refrigerator get this bad and ruining my evening?"
Well, they were super
Have
gracious
2 snowballs.
that I came out. Like they didn't. When I talked to her initially, they were like, "Oh, you don't have to come out. I'll try to thaw it out myself." I was like, "No, it's fine. Let me just get somebody to watch the kids." And I finally made it out there. But they were really gracious. They were sitting in there listening to elevation worship songs the whole time. So
nice.
I was getting worship in while I was working. So that was great.
Nice.
So yeah, that's all.
All right. Thanks for reading.
You're welcome. Oh, the other not through the word Bible plan I'm doing right now is Sermon on the Mount, because I really enjoyed the Sermon on the Mount thing from the Bible Project.
I also added an additional Sermon on the Mount devotional this week.
Who's yours by?
I
don't know who this one's by. I don't know why I just asked, because I
don't know why you asked either.
By.
You don't even know. Well, we can describe the picture. It's Sermon on the Mount, a blueprint for life.
Yep, that's literally the same one.
Is that the same one you're doing? Look at us. Sermon on the Mount twins.
Yeah. It's by Elevation Church Australia.
Is it?
Yes.
Perfect. I like it. Yeah, man. Well, you know what's cool is I'm gonna go, like, all the stuff we've been studying with Bible Project. I've liked it so much. I'm gonna go back through it, and I'm gonna pretty much modify it so I can teach it in my Bible class.
That's awesome.
Because I do the life of Christ in 10th grade, but I feel like I could do the whole life of Christ in 10th grade, and then in the first semester, in the second semester, I can get, because the Sermon on the Mount, like, as they talk about it, hyperlinks to so many parts of the Bible, and it's so practical that I could teach a whole semester, like, just launch padding off of the Sermon on the Mount to other parts of the Bible, and it's just so good, and it's so practical. Like, it's just Jesus Like this is greatest hits. Like they've said,
it really is.
It's so good. So, yeah, that's awesome, man. All right. Last but not least, the real Lisan Al-Gaib. Earl got around to applying for a couple of promotions at work, so we hope to hear some good news about that soon. Now, when you apply for a couple promotions, you get promoted a couple times. Like today, you're captain. Tomorrow, you're lieutenant, then general. How does that work? Anybody know how promotions work?
Sure.
Nope, sure don't.
Something like that.
Yeah, I don't know either. Oh, well. I hope Godspeed, Lisan Al-Gaib. I also started classes with WGU. Oh, so close to West Virginia University instead of West Georgia. West Georgia University.
Yep.
West Georgetown.
It's whatever
University.
that online one is. I can't remember what it is.
Wacky Gobstopper University. He's gonna make candy and chocolates.
Willy Wonka is the professor.
Wonka. Yeah, it's Wonka. It's Wonka garbage. No, that doesn't sound.
Every
nice.
time
like
he turns in a paper or something, just Gene Wilder's gonna come back from the grave.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, really?
You fail. You stole fizzy lifting drinks.
You lose. Good day, sir.
You do not pass my class. Wonka got ups. No.
Yes, Wonka got ups.
Wonka got up. University. Wiggle Gibble University.
Does anyone know what WGU is, though? For real?
No.
Like,
more
Wacky
fun to make up
Gobstopper was
names.
the best one.
Oh, man.
Western Governors University in
That's
Salt Lake
it.
City. Really?
No, it's the OWL. Yeah,
that's no
maybe
fun.
that's it. Yeah,
West-
online
West-
nonprofit. It's that one.
What is it again?
Western Governors University.
Western Governors?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. I hope your classes go well, Justin.
Jordan.
Jordan. That's what I said. Don't correct me when I say the right thing that you misheard.
Lisan Al-Gaib.
Yeah. Sorry. Lag.
Lag
Laggy.
going to WGU.
Lag going to WGU. Oh man. Yeah, man. That journey to another degree. Godspeed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of getting a master's of, I don't know yet, counseling, or I'm leaning towards spiritual like development, or I don't know yet.
And I can recommend a particular university that does
Oh, I
online
bet you
classwork.
could. We could definitely have a conversation about that. Old Liberty. The Flammies.
Liberty.
All the Flammies.
Liberty, liberty.
Liberty.
Let's see. Iffle for Jerden. Haven't honestly played much of anything the last week and a half while my backlog for things continues to grow. Need to play Shadow of the Erd Tree at least once. Space Marine 2. Black Myth. Wu-Tang. You left out the Wu-Tang, Jordan. Don't do that. Finish my platinum for Ghosts of Tsushima and God of War, and do stuff on Division 2 and Destiny. I'm guessing that's Destiny 2. Or are you
Destiny
really
1. Nope, he said Destiny 1.
Did he say Destiny 1?
I don't even
Yep.
think
Man.
he has Destiny.
If he doesn't
1
put
still
if he
installed.
doesn't, yeah. If he doesn't put 2 on it, you know what I mean? It's the first
Yeah, I
one.
mean, he did Division 2.
Look,
so-
Bungie really fumbled the ball when they put the 2 on there.
Good thing you deleted it finally.
Yeah.
So
and then he-
That's from
speaking
my
of,
PlayStation, not my Xbox.
Oh my gosh, get out of here.
speaking of
You fake
Tsushima,
deletion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
how
Oh, yeah.
excited are y'all for?
Oh yeah, I didn't
Well,
watch that video that you sent.
didn't
yet,
either.
but I'm going to.
Yes. Same.
I'm
juice.
all in. I am all in.
Yeah, next year, y'all. Next
Wow,
freaking year.
nice.
It's at 2025, so it'll be like holiday 2025. It'll get delayed to like summer 2026.
That is correct.
You know,
No rush.
Pat knows what's up. Pat
yeah.
knows-
And, like,
knows how
you
it
know
Apparently,
what?
they
Like,
started working on this like right after they put the first one out.
I'm all for it. If it comes out next year, great. But what I really liked about the state of play today is they were like, hey, you know all these games that we have coming out? Oh, they're coming out next month. You know, like they're coming out in 2 months. So it's like that's nice. I'll believe those dates.
Sure.
When I see dates that say 2025, I'm like, all right, well, we'll
When in 2025?
we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
December 31st, 2025.
Oh yeah, that's like
At
guaranteed.
11:59.
Yeah.
I said 2025 is when we'll think about giving you the date.
Yeah. Now that's happened a few times, right? Date coming, 2025.
Yeah.
And then he said so many other games he's playing right now. So
Yeah.
wow, that's some juggling
great.
right there.
That's great.
He'll figure it out eventually, though. LOL. Eagle continuing to talk to God at work or whenever I can. That's awesome. That's what it's all about. Going to try to get back to church this Saturday since we have Saturday services. A bit nervous, but I know he's also there and waiting.
Yeah.
He will go with you.
Yeah.
Get back to playing
Very
drums too. I'm sure they need people.
Yep.
If
Always
not,
needed.
you're more than welcome to come up to Raleigh and please come be an instrumentalist or, background vocals because I am the only male background vocal.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I like about what we're doing over this past 6 months is, Mark, you've been doing a great job of sharing the screen of Discord and doing all these stuff. It's great. But what I don't like is you have unread messages in the wrestling chat in our GMG Discord.
I did notice that. Mark, all you got to do is click on it and then back right out again, or you hide it.
It's muted and it's great all the time.
Ta-da!
There you go. Just scroll down.
There you go. You scrolled. Good job. You read.
There's not a lot of action in there.
Oh, you're gonna hate it when I have to share then because literally all of mine have unread messages.
Oh man. I don't even understand how you do so many Discords. I think I have 4.
Man,
I'm good.
I mute servers now. I don't even mute notifications.
What is the point of being on it? Just leave it. Delete it.
Yeah.
Well,
leave it. Just cut it off.
They're there just in case I
the
get
Discord
back into things.
Cut the Discord.
I'm on most of these.
Yeah.
I do need to join the Love Thy Nerd Discord.
Yep.
Oh.
Comes on the cross and
most of mine are Destiny 2 related though.
Oh, please cut those.
You need multiple Destiny 2s?
No, but kind of.
but I want to support them forever.
It's literally some of the third-party apps that people made to help with the inventory of that game because let's face it, in-game inventory management in that game is abysmal. So I have the Destiny item manager in here, Braytech and Charlemagne and some other ones.
All I hear is just letters combined together to make words that make no sense.
That's all you need.
Charlemagne, who took over the empire.
Ding dong.
Oh man! All right, folks. If you'd rather not hear about Ryan Isley's this terrible Destiny 2 Discord servers he's a part of, you can connect with us visually and spectatorly and scrub through some of those words that he's saying on YouTube, on Twitch. There's a plethora of other joiners who are streaming. So please find their links in the Discord and check them out. Finally, on Patreon and our merch page, you can support and gear up with us. So click that one link to rule them all, either in the show notes or you can type it out real quick. Linktree.com/thegmgpod. Of course, if you can't toss your attention or a coin to your podcasters, but it's still the giving type, please rate and review us on Apple Podcast and Podchaser and Spotify. It helps us reach new joiners through stars, exclamation marks, and your feedback. So let your voice be heard. Literally, if you prefer, at 929 GMG Guys. I also want to encourage you. Go back, listen to our first, second, third, fourth episode. Do the whole thing. Give us reviews on that. Not the star ones, but just little voicemails of what we talked about. If you feel so up for it, we would love to hear your thoughts on classic GMG episodes that we in the hosting section want to forget. So
I don't think that word means what you think it means.
No, it
Not
doesn't.
in this context.
Right. That's fair. All righty then, Pat, Mark, and Ryan, who rose from the dead, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game.
1, 2, 3, 4.